welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and tonight, baby, we talking money, money, money. Oh, yeah. Listen, it's one of the most important conversations you should have in any relationship, whether you're starting to date, whether you're about to say I do at the end of the altar, you need to talk finances. But one of the old and most traditional ways is for men to be providers. So we're gonna dive into that. What does it mean for a man to provide? Oh, it's gonna get juicy, baby. But I've got Melissa Rogers here with a very interesting looking cocktail. What is this?
All right, we're doing some boozy snowballs today.
Boozy snowballs.
Boozy snowballs. Got a little Absolute Elix, blue curacao, like a tiki vodka vibe going on.
Oh, tiki vodka. So you're gonna get us relaxed so we can talk about
You gotta relax when you're talking about finances.
I know, because it can get real heated, baby. Okay, but I've got the perfect people here to discuss, right? Y'all ready to talk? Let's get into it.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
All right, baby, let's talk this money, 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 shall we? I've got Holly Cotton back in the building, and baby, time and time again, you have shared your opinions on finances, so we figured we needed to have you back, okay, to define these providers. And a man who I assume labels himself as a provider, we've got Jeremey Jenson here for the very first time. Are you a provider, Jeremey?
I still provide for my ex-wife and 3 children.
So you a provider, baby.
Yes.
There we go.
All right, let's talk about being a provider or having a man provide. What does that mean?
Well, let's start with the man, and then I can rebuttal.
This isn't a debate, but it can turn into one. All right, come on, Jeremey. Putting you in the hot seat
so
already.
if it was a debate, I would be winning, just an FYI. No, I think that it means different things at different seasons of life, right?
Okay.
You know, whenever I met the woman who I was married to for 10 years, I was 24 years old. I was making about $65,000 a year, and she was making about $100K, right?
Oh,
and so
interesting dynamic.
being a provider for her was a very different dynamic than myself at 40 years old, dating a 32-year-old woman that's on the come up in her career, and here I am that own a 40-person firm, you know, and so I think it's a completely different definition today. And so I think that being a provider is dating within your means, but knowing that it's your responsibility to be the one that throttles the quality, the frequency, and things of that nature.
Okay, that was quite an answer.
Did you like it or did you hate it?
I feel like you were selling it. So I'm gonna take you back to when you were making 65 and your then wife.
That's a long time
your
ago.
then wife was making 100K.
Okay.
So when you talk about providing in that sense, when she is the breadwinner, how are you providing? Are you paying for the dinners out? Are you paying for the bills? Or are you like, you know what, you make $35,000 more than I do, so you probably need to buck up a little bit more?
Great question. And you know, in 2009, it was probably a completely different dating dynamic than in the age of Instagram and the age of comparison. You know, back then, if I flash back to 2009, you know, a date night was Chili's. Right? It was P.F. Chang's. It was, you know, taking her to a spot where we had a $40 dinner. And so even on my salary, right, this was a manageable expense for myself to where we could go out maybe 3 or 4 times a week, right? And so I feel like the expectation now by the same 25, 26-year-old woman is you got to take him to Steak 48. You got to take him to Doris Metropolitan, Hamsa, right? Every new spot on the block, Toca Madera. You know why? Because all her girlfriends are posting, right, at Toca, so you know her ass needs to be there.
It sounds like the men are keeping up with the Joneses to keep the women's.
You know why? I think it's because...
You got the
are we turning up on a Tuesday?
He pulled out the pointy finger. Go ahead, okay?
You know why? It's because, and I didn't realize this until maybe now that I'm 40 years old, right, and I'm financially secure, to where it's the 24-year-old girls that are beautiful, right, that are articulate, that, you know, look amazing in a cocktail gown, right? They're the ones that have all the options now. Because there's no shortage of 40-year-old dudes like me that'll get them dressed up on a Tuesday and say, hey, you want to do drinks at Park House? Then you want to go to Lombardi for dinner? Then we'll do a nightcap at Toca Madera. $800 night is no sweat for a guy at my level, right? It's impossible for a 25 or 26-year-old good guy, even if he makes six figures, to keep up with the options that she has.
This is a very interesting perspective. All right, Jeremy, you've been doing all the talking. So, Holly, you said you wanted a rebuttal. What are your thoughts on what he shared today?
So my first thing that I wanted to rebuttal is when he was talking about marriage. That is a whole different standard of wine and dine and being a provider.
Okay.
I feel like whenever you're married, you're talking about all of these other roles that come with being a provider as well. In a marriage, you're in love, so you are a lot more tolerant of things that you would not put up with in a single world, right? So if he loses his job or he has a bad month at work and sales or whatever, you're like, oh, well, we can overcome it, or well, I'll do that. Like, it's a partnership when you're married compared to we're in a relationship. I have rent, I have a mortgage, you have your bills. So it's two different aspects that we're talking about there. So I think that whenever you're in the single world, which is, like you said, most of the girls or the women that come on the show, that's if you're coming off and you're immediately saying, I want a provider, that's going to deter men from wanting to provide for you. So for me, being a provider is going to be where someone wants to do it and then they do a great job at it. Because most men, if you don't come off like, I want this, I want that, I want that, you see me as someone that you cherish and value, so you automatically want to take care of me.
Oh, actually, we have the perfect video of a man describing this and saying to leave that sort of woman. So coming up next, we'll show that video and dive into these gold-digging women.
The man always pays, right? Now, my answer is I'm going to pay. So if I invite Shorty out to eat, why would I not pay? But that's not the end-all be-all answer. Now, let's say you about to get your check, right? And Shorty's talking about the man pays all the time. I need a provider. That, my boy, is a gold digger, and you need to pay your portion of the check and get the hell out of there.
Welcome back to the Nightcap. We're talking about men being providers. We've got Holly, we've got Jeremy here. Before the break, you were talking about how you can't lead with all the things you want because you'll turn them off, which is what he's saying. Do you agree with that 20-something-year-old?
First of all, let me just say this. Please do not get your dating advice from someone that has a Marvel or DC poster in the background and an earring hanging down and says Shorty. Okay, let's just go from there.
Okay.
But I do agree with that. But this is what I said, Carolina. Remember the last time I was on the show and I was saying, women, when you go on a date or when you're dating someone, be quiet at the beginning and listen to what he needs. Listen to the things that turn him off. Listen to the things that he wants to do. And then sort of try and cater to those things.
Phil his ice cream.
It's not, exactly. It's not changing who you are. It's not being a fake person. It's just me now being alert. So it's just about that. Like, that's why women struggle so much.
All right, I'm going to let Jeremy rebuttal because he's over here biting his lip.
I think you're expecting Holly and I to disagree on a lot of things, but
No, I'm not,
no, what
actually.
you're saying right now
He's
is
a pimp, too.
you expect the man to take the lead, and you're willing to channel your feminine energy and step into being led. Now, in this specific instance, on a first date, he'll lead the conversation, right? And instead of you maybe rebutting with a very flagrant, rigid opinion, you might ask a follow-up question, right? Well, let's say that, Missy Elliott's coming to town next Tuesday, right? What do you think about Missy Elliott? Are you thinking about going to the concert, right? Have you already gotten tickets? Who would you go with? There's no reason to be super rigid about your opinions on who needs to buy the tickets. And if the man offers, if you make it our idea,
Right.
then we've got the power. It's
That's
not
what
you
I'm
being
saying.
a taker.
Right.
It's
and
you-
you automatically want to provide for me.
Absolutely.
Because now you see that I'm submitting to your masculinity.
I feel like everybody at home need to be taking notes. Y'all need to take your notes and find you a Jeremy and a Holly.
It's only one of us. It's only one of us.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Okay, this sounds so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
We have to put egos into these relationships, and that's the issue, right?
Yeah.
Like, a woman wants to be heard and and understood. And so for her to just sit back and listen to a man that she's like, he better pay for me, he better do this. And you know,
I didn't mean the whole date. I just meant at the beginning.
in the beginning, okay, just in the beginning.
Like the first few minutes, like the first 20 or 30 minutes of the date. Let him talk, and then now I can tweak what I need to say or not say.
I think what a man needs to realize also is, and I had this conversation with my HR manager the other day, but I don't specifically think that a first date needs to be at a $500 restaurant, right?
Okay.
Could we go and grab coffee, right, at Slowpokes? Could
love
we go?
Slowpokes.
Yeah. Could we go grab a smoothie? Could we go play pickleball, right? That's something that I'm interested in, right? You would not believe how many girls where I've proposed a little pickleball date at Club Westside, and she said, no, I want you to take me to a Zoomy that just opened this week, right? And that makes it very easy for me to self-select out of pursuing that individual, right? Because
So at that point, you're like, nah, never mind? Or do you still take them out?
oh, I just ghost them. Is that bad?
You ghost them.
on red.
Oh no!
Totally
not
on
lack of
red.
communication. I was just when we were here.
Oh,
Okay, so Holly.
Yes.
So Holly,
Yes.
he offers, which Club Westside is a nice club.
Yeah.
It is a nice club. And says like, let's go play pickleball. But you really want to go to a nice restaurant. And you say so. And he doesn't want to do that. How should he respond to you?
Then he's not the person that I want to
Yeah.
hang
So
out
then he
with.
might as well
there's a
ghost
reason
you.
why I haven't already put a ring on
but
it.
I'm gonna say,
Oh,
okay.
Oh, there's a
Okay,
misconnection here.
So listen.
I'm lost. Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
We're trying to play matchmaker
I
here.
would say no. So I would say that, like, if I was ghosted or whatever, first of all, I call people out of whatever. I never get ghosted, but if I don't like if I don't like something that someone says, I'm like, well, that was kind of a crappy thing to say. Like, I'm a very easy person to communicate with, so there's no reason that you can't say that. But one, I don't like pickleball, so if I were to do that, I would say, well, listen, if you want to go pickling, go knock yourself out. I'll go for the ambiance and the vibes, but I'm not into that. But then there's also, I'll tell you this, sometimes I want to feel like I want to bring out my feminine side and I want to go to a nice restaurant. So I'll say that, like, listen, that's really nice. I really want to get pretty for you, and I really have a cute dress that I would love to wear. Is there something else that we can do? And I never have anyone go, oh no, pickleball
That
or
works.
not.
That's a good response.
That's a amazing response.
Oh my God, this is going too well. This is going way too
I have
well.
a cute dress and I want to look pretty for you. Oh,
Works every time.
oh, gala. We just went from Toca Madera to charity gala right there.
Okay. There's way too much magic happening here on my couch. So coming up next, we're gonna talk sprinkle, sprinkle. You stay right there. We'll be right back.
If she's with a man that wants her to do something, she's with the wrong man. I'm gonna repeat that. If she's with a man that has the attitude of, she gotta pay for something, she gotta do something, he don't even like her that much. Because she can go out and get a man that says you don't have to do nothing. Why should the woman not do anything? Because she doesn't have to, sir. Okay? Because some of these dusties think they're supposed to have supermodels for some damn reason. I don't even know why.
A sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. All right. So, Holly, Jeremy, this is a woman who has taken the internet by storm. We know her as Sprinkle, Sprinkle. Now, this is what she's telling women that they should be looking out for. What are your opinions on that?
So can I just say this? All right. I feel that when people say these types of things, they need to have a disclaimer. Because yes, you can go out and find a man to do all of those things and take it. I can go out today around the corner and find a man, but it is the quality of the man that I want. It is the way, the aesthetics of the man. It's the way that he looks. It's the way that he dresses. It's what he has. Like, there are certain things that I desire in what a man is supposed to look like. So when you're saying this, yeah, you can find a man that can take care of you, but is it a man that you're attracted to? Or do you want to have sex with this person? Or, you know, like, can we
there
have
a
a conversation?
connection? Yeah.
Yes, I want chemistry and stuff. So yeah, anybody can sprinkle some foolishness on you, but we're talking about the caliber of the person. Just my personal preference.
Don't yuck anybody's yum.
I
That's
know,
fine.
that's why I said that's why I did disclaimer.
Jeremy, your thoughts?
You know, I think that you know, people are going to migrate to what their options allow them to, right? And so obviously she's speaking to, you know, women that present themselves in a certain way with the way that they speak, the way that they dress, that have plenty of options from a dude that will sprinkle, right? And, you know, I'm not going to shame the guy that's going to be super particular about having a standard for the women that he has in his life if he has plenty of options too. And so my challenge for the guys that are complaining about it is rather than
Look at this camera right here, baby, and talk about it.
rather than focusing on the women having too high of expectations, you need to hunker down and get your bread up, dude. You need to focus for 5 years, focus on your education, focus on your career, your fitness, your fashion, and you need to be qualified to pursue the women that you think that you're qualified for today.
All
Baby,
them
that was
Fs.
a master
All
class.
them Fs.
That was a master class, darling. Woo! Okay.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. We live in a world where so many relationships, especially in the economy that we're in, are now 50-50. Where everyone has their own money, their own bank account, they have a joint account, and that's where the bills are paid. Is that wrong? Does that make a man less valuable?
You want me to answer that question?
Obviously, I'm staring at you.
So I will say, whenever I was 24 years old and I met the woman who was going to be my future wife, she was 26. She was more educated than me. She was definitely more beautiful, but she invested her time and energy and her heart into pursuing someone that was on the come up, right? I was a good communicator. I was grateful. I was good with my family, right? She saw that I wanted something more in my life. And not only did I just have the ambition, I had a strategy in order to achieve it. And so I needed that emotional peace and safety and security emotionally, not necessarily financially, in order to achieve my potential. But she saw it very early on.
All right, so at the end of the day,
Love is blind.
love is blind. And men need to be providers.
And Poe.
Or, and I will say it, is I think that you need to make your expectations clear and your partner needs to be fully on board with providing that, right? And so obviously in this situation, in today's economy, 2024, there are quite a few women that are expecting men to be the financial provider. And as long as it's clear from the beginning, there's no shortage of dudes that will provide. But to that same extent, there's an element of expectation that we have for those women, right? With regards to the way that they communicate with us, the way that the frequency in which they share physical intimacy, right? You know, and if you're not upholding your end of the bargain, then guess what?
You paying somewhere else. Listen, someone else is being taken to harm, so okay. All right, coming up next, I'm heading behind the bar because Melissa, the GM's got to show me how to make these snowballs. Okay, baby, we're going to be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. I'm behind the bar now because the GM of Hamza, Melissa Rogers, is here, and you're here to do what, baby? Back that glass up! That's right. All right, let me talk about the snowballs.
The snowballs.
First of all, I didn't know a thing about snowballs until today, and I drank that whole thing. Wow, Holly
little boozy.
and Jeremy were going back and forth, okay? They taught us a thing or two today. And now we got to learn how to make this cocktail.
So we're starting with our base, which is Absolute Elix. Really beautiful copper distilled vodka.
Okay.
Added some blue curacao and orgeat for a little bit of sweetness.
And what exactly is the name of this cocktail?
It's called Blue Beaches.
Blue Beaches. And so, snowballs, they're from New Orleans.
They are from New Orleans. I spent the last 7 years in New Orleans running Doris Metropolitan, which is Hamza's sister restaurant. So in doing so, there's a famous place on there called Hanson's Snowballs. And the entire idea was born over the summer to kind of bring everyone back to their childhood, right? Which you're home in the summer, you got your kids, you're relaxed, and it just gives you an opportunity to really bring yourself back to that time where you had a carefree summer, right? Where a summer meant something.
Yeah.
Because now you're an adult, your summer doesn't mean anything.
It means, you know, all
You're
these
still at work.
contractors coming to your house after a hurricane. And
You're still at work, maybe now, right? Now you also don't have at least the school day to take care of your children.
Stop.
You need a cocktail. That's what you need. In life, you need a cocktail.
Right now. All right, I have to ask you personally, Melissa.
Personally.
In a relationship, should it be
Yes.
50-50? Should it be 60-40? Should it be 100-0?
So I think that is a large dependence on who's in the relationship and how you want your relationships to work. But I think if you have an expectation that you want me to be the one to be led, then you need to be worthy of leading me.
Baby, drop the mother mic! She said what she said. Not these two coming in ready for their own snowballs. Back up. I ain't
think this
providing
one's already
nothing.
claimed.
It's claimed, darling. It's claimed. I love it. All right, we gotta go to Hamza with our providers. And
With our
providees.
providers.
And baby, if you provide them for yourself, go by yourself, all right? Cheers to you. We'll see you guys next time. Well, I take this little cocktail. We've got every episode of The Nightcap, and we can go for hours. Download the Fox Local app on any of the following smart TV platforms and get in on the fun.